Hello, I'm Jess, and this is Jenny,
Hello.
and we are part of your walk in the woods in the. I picked it up already. That's how professional I am. A walk in the woods at midnight team, and we are here to present to you our reaction to the trailer to Doctor Sleep, which is being released in November of 2019. And Jenny, would you like to give us a little background on Doctor Sleep?
I sure, yeah, I would. The director of this movie has directed a couple of my favorite horror movies.
Oh,
So he has done. His name is Mike Flanagan, and he's done a film called Oculus. And
oh, I want to see that.
yeah, and he did Hush and Gerald's Game, which
Oh.
is another Stephen King adaptation. So, and I thought all of those were really were really well done. So I think this is going to be, I think they've got the right guy. They've got a good guy at least in place for this. So, the trailer opens with Ewan McGregor, and you get the sense. I mean, you kind of know right away that he is the grown-up Danny Torrance
Mhm.
from the first book and from the excuse me, from the first book, and then also from the Stanley Kubrick film. So that's what. Can we start over? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. We can't start over.
That's okay. Okay, I'll keep going. I have like a tickle in my throat.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry,
Nobody cares
everyone.
about that.
so, anyway, Danny Torrance is walking into his room after what seems like a long night, and he's in scrubs. So it seems like he's a doctor or a nurse or somehow in the
Right.
medical profession. And so he walks into his bedroom, and he's got like a large chalkboard wall in his bedroom, and written on the chalkboard is hello. And so when he walks into his room, he sees this.
And it looks like it's a surprise to him, right?
It's Yes, it's
Yeah,
creepy. It's
right.
creepy. And so we can only kind of it seems like he starts communicating
Hmm.
with this entity. So this is kind of really showing you that, he's still got the shine.
Right.
And it gets weirder from there. There's a little girl in it who seems to have the shine as well, who he's talking to. Um, and yeah, and then so there seems to be a cult in it, and they're trying to sort of like, I don't know, suck the breath out of what seems like the people with the shine. Did you
Yeah. Now, there was one thing where he said he's talking to himself and he says, talk to the boy. And then he's talking to this boy and the boy refers to it as you're magic like me. And he
Yes.
says, I don't know if I'd call it magic. I always referred to it as the shining. And I've only known two or three people like it who were like me, and they all died.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And then so when you see this cult and this creepy creepy and also beautiful woman talking to this
right,
little girl, you're kind of like, something's up with
yeah,
her. Like, she's not of this world, and she seems kind of like a bad guy.
malevolent, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so what's interesting about the trailer is also that um it takes like certain scenes from the Stanley Kubrick movie,
hmm,
and it also seems to be heavily relying on the book Doctor Sleep, which was Stephen King like wrote this sequel.
and did you read it?
No, I didn't read it. I
Okay,
didn't
I
have
didn't either.
I didn't have time to between
Who
last
has
night.
time to read Stephen King books, man? They're 5,000 pages long.
They're so long. But yeah, so Stephen King notoriously hated the Kubrick version, and and so it's interesting that this film seems to incorporate stuff from that film, at least flashback scenes,
Yeah.
and then also stuff from from the sequel, the book that Stephen King wrote.
Now, I had a question about a scene in this trailer,
Mm-hmm.
because in The Shining, Danny was always on the big wheel, ripping around in the hotel. I saw that movie back when it came out a bunch of times, but I haven't seen it since it came out a bunch of times. But I remember him always ripping around on that big wheel. But in this trailer, was that Danny on the big wheel? Because it looked like it was a little girl on the big wheel.
I think what they did was they recreated scenes
Okay.
from The Shining. So I don't know. I mean, my guess is that that's a flashback that grown-up Danny is having to, little boy Danny. And if you remember, like in the film, he's got like a like a short bob almost. He has like that late 70s haircut where boys had like a bowl haircut kind
Right.
of. So it could have been, that kind of that kind of haircut. So I'm not totally sure. I think
Okay.
I read that they used one scene directly from the Kubrick film, but there's only one. But they've recreated the other
Okay.
moments in it. So,
well, it had a scene where somebody's got a hypodermic needle behind their back, which totally freaked me out. I don't even need context for that.
that completely freaked me out too. And the
Yeah.
slow walking and the hiding of it, that was not, that went deep.
That I didn't care for that at all. So that looked remarkably scary. Anything involving a cult standing around in a forest definitely looked bad to me. It definitely looked scary. Any kind of child in danger, that poor little girl holding the flowers, that looked scary. Then there wasn't a whole lot in this you could grab onto. There was plenty of scary scenes, but there wasn't a lot of stuff you could follow necessarily. Like one big scene that you could sink your teeth into, so to speak. But there was a lot of individual little scary shots in it, enough for me to say I definitely want to see it, especially because there was there was enough of Danny, grown-up Danny, talking to the little boy about The Shining, and so there's some connection made to a person about The Shining, and and then we see Red Rum in the background on like the blown up chalkboard or whatever he saw it on in the mirror, so we know that something's come back to affect him. And then at the very end, it looks like he goes back to the hotel and looks at the door that Jack Nicholson's busted into with the axe, which was the scariest part of that movie to me. And looks at which was a great way to end that trailer, just looking at the scene, looking at the door where the axe had broken into Shelley Duvall's, where she's trying to hide.
Oh yeah, in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They're kind of, their little room or in the overlook. I mean, this, it's interesting too, because I think there's something about that scene particularly where you get this idea that he's going back to revisit this horrible incident from his childhood. And that I'm really looking forward to seeing how they kind of deal with some of the themes that were a little bit hidden maybe in The Shining movie, and then also how close they stay to the novel Dr. Sleep, the sequel of Stephen King's The Shining. So I feel like I really want to read Dr. Sleep before I see the movie or after, because it's having, oh God, then I would have to read The Shining again too. I don't know if I can promise this, everyone.
No one's
But
looking to you to read. This is not book club. This is movies. So no
that's
one's looking for
true.
a promise from you for about a book.
That's true. That's true. My first reaction is to go like, how does it vary from the book versus the the Kubrick film? I will happily rewatch the Kubrick film
That's what
again
we're
for the
looking
millionth
for.
time.
We're only looking for movie reactions here.
And trailer reactions at that,
Right. This is
right?
just about the
I'm going
trailer for
too
Doctor
deep.
Sleep. Yeah. Now you're already talking about reading Doctor Sleep and rereading The Shining. And so let's not get off on that tangent.
All right, good, good, good. But I think overall, like, I don't know, I wanted to kind of get your sense of like your creepy level on this. I mean, it's hard to say because I watched the trailer for the Joker, like not too long ago, and that scared the crap out of me. And
Oh, I
so,
need to see that. I haven't
oh,
seen it yet.
it's so creepy, and so watching this, at least there, you kind of get the sense of a little bit of a maybe more linear story. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought this is definitely something that got me excited to see more.
Yeah, me too. I definitely want to see it, and I love the title of it. First of all, Doctor Sleep. It sounds like the name of a great rock band album. First of all, and so I want to see it just based on that. So yeah, the trailer got me excited. I think I love the main actor. I loved everything in the trailer. It got me disturbed enough, and it was creepy enough that it makes me want to see it. Uh, and it makes me want to go see it immediately as soon as it
Yeah,
comes out.
yeah. Quick question: how do you feel about Ewan McGregor in the lead role? I know you said you like the actor, but
Oh yeah.
when you think of Danny Torrance, like, is that a good, do you feel like, oh yeah, that's a great fit? I don't know. I'm curious because
I didn't have a problem with it. I
okay.
don't have a problem with it.
I mean, I think he's a great actor. I'm glad he's
Yeah.
doing it. It's just not, I don't know what I imagined, and maybe now I imagine the kid who was in ET, who's now doing all the horror films. Maybe I'm just so used to seeing him that I kind of expected it to be him. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be, totally won over. But it's just weird to kind of see this future version of a character, a character growing up who's made such an impression on you, and on, I think, society. But
Yeah.
yeah, people I think are going to have some interesting things to say about the casting.
Oh, okay. I don't have a problem with it.
You're like, I don't
I'm
have
fine.
anything interesting to say.
No, I don't. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm usually okay with casting choices. I'm fine.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So I think we're of the same mind that we're looking forward to it, and we think it's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to being scared by it.
Yep. For sure.
Okay, good. Well, thanks, Jenny. And this was a Walk in the Woods at Midnight. First reaction to Dr. Sleep. Thank you very much.